Tears. We have Francesco back for this week.
I'm back.
And obviously, yeah, you're back. The Terminator, I'm back.
I was gonna say
And
back and better than ever, but everyone knows
yeah, I
Thanks,
know.
results. So
Most definitely, we will talk about that game. I gotta say, in a sense, everyone's gonna hate me for this. I'm happy that Juve are knocked out. Having said that, though, I was really nervous. I really thought that Juve at the last kind of split seconds they were going to do it. But again, we'll get into that. Talk about weekend action. We'll kind of blow through all the other results. We'll talk about a little bit of Juve Lazio, Roma Genoa, and stuff like that. And then the main focus of this episode, guys, we're really going to kind of dig deep into the Juve Porto game and just because the nitty gritties and stuff like that. So let's start with Spezia Benevento 1-1. Udinese really surprising everybody with the defeat with Sassuolo. And I mean, Juve Lazio, what can we talk about? It's funny. It's so funny. When I posted that dumb and I said mentioned in the pod too, and I'm not trying to say to all my Lazio brethren, I told you so, kind of. But anyways, after that game, the amount of people messaged me and commented and said, Inzaghi's a mess. What is he doing? What kind of and this was after I put that Dumb and Dumber post between Inzaghi and Claudio. People lost their minds. I got people were good sports about it. Other people not so much. And they said, "Oh, what are you saying about Inzaghi? He shouldn't be sacked." And my argument was always to this: yes, he's a great coach, but we're not an attractive club in Europe. We haven't won the Scudetto. Yes, we win Coppa Italia and stuff like that. I mentioned in the last episode, but other players outside of Europe are not going to look at us and be like, "Oh, they won the Coppa Italia. Oh, they won the Super Cup. I want to go over there." They look at clubs like Juventus, be like, "Oh, they won the Scudetto. I want to go there." You know what I mean? So looking at the lineup again, fuming as always. Yes, Nutella sandwiches were harmed in the making of this video that I did before. Putting Medizic as a center back, I don't know what he's. I get it. There's injuries, no, 100%. But that guy is not a center back, and you're putting him as a center back. It just blows my brain. Honestly, I couldn't deal with it. They're playing well. Can we agree they're playing well at the beginning?
yes,
Carrera's scoring the
first
goal.
20 minutes Lazio were playing better than Juve. I could give them that.
Yeah,
I can
for
give
sure.
them that. But I mean, I got to give it all of it, all the chips to Juventus here. I mean, from Morata to Robert to Ronaldo coming. So the thing with Ronaldo, he was it a pre-practice knock or was he injured? I
No,
didn't really follow that.
it was
So
Pirlo wanting to rest him for the Porto game.
That's what I
okay,
thought.
But instead of Ronaldo needing the rest, because I don't think he needs the rest, I think it was
no,
Pirlo saying, Ronaldo, you're on poor form. I'm going to rest you. It's going to get you pissed off. So then when I play you against Porto, you're going to explode, which didn't happen. But I think that was like the mindset Pirlo wanted.
yeah,
Not a great
yeah,
philosophy, but okay.
yeah. No, but I think that I discussed with somebody else too. I think with that, I think Ronaldo was, and you could tell Ronaldo was saying that he was not happy,
No.
regardless of using that philosophy or not. He was not happy, and I think at a point he's like, "Yo, I'm going in. I don't care what you say. Like, I'm going in." Obviously, not exactly those words, but I think that was kind of Ronaldo's kind of intention, and rightfully so in a sense because it's Ronaldo. I'm sure Messi has done that in the past with his dinky coaches at Barca. He's like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm going in. Like I don't care what you say, right? And
Yeah, but
obviously you could tell.
Ronaldo's basically the coach. I
Well,
mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
I think I've made my opinions. Like, I love Pillar as a player, but this coach thing, I've talked about it to death. But he's in a position of power. I feel like if he really wanted to, I don't know. I just feel like
Yeah,
he should have the authority to say I'm playing, because with all due respect to Pilro, going into the season, I had coached more professional games than he had, or not professional games, more games in total. So it's just like, yes, he has the credibility of being a great player and being intelligent, because I don't think anyone doubts how smart he is. But as far as going through those situations with Juventus and with just obviously what Ronaldo's done in his career and also the time he's been at Juventus, it seems like even going into that whole situation, he had more authority in Juve than Pirlo does, who kind of,
Yeah.
I think he has the potential to be a good coach, but a lot of the times when I watch Pirlo, it just seems like he's watching the game as a fan from the sidelines, except he gets mix-ups. So it's just I feel like, I don't know, I feel like if Ronaldo really wanted to play, I think they should Pillar just should, I mean, to a certain point, let him just get in there because, I mean, obviously his strategy of pissing off didn't exactly work either. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, Francisco,
you
you
don't.
mentioned exactly. Yeah, exactly. Richard, you've mentioned it time and time again that like he's more of a buddy to them. Like he's not putting his foot down.
Yeah,
He's not really
yeah,
showing that aggressiveness as like a Tuzo coach or like Allegri, for example, too. I felt like Allegri, he was okay. You could say whatever you want to Allegri, I get it, but like at the end of the day, he was tough. He was hard. He got to the point. You know what I mean? I feel like Pirlo is just like, oh, it's like the friend that you work with and you're like his boss, but you can't really, you don't want that awkwardness to
He
happen.
wants to be
I feel like
liked
that's
by his team, I think.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think he's trying way too hard. I feel like he's not getting that point across, and the players see that, and I feel like especially Ronaldo too. It's not a quick instinct, but I think they take advantage of that. It's like okay, it's Pirlo, like oof, ooh, ah, like what is he gonna do? You
He's
know
a
what I
couple of
mean?
years older than me. He's not like.
Yeah.
Exactly. What is he gonna do? Sub me? What is he gonna be like? Maybe sit on the bench? I'll go on. Like I don't care.
How many
What
champions
can
does
you
this
do?
guy have? I have 5. So.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, the game. Kudos to you guys. I knew that Lazio had no chance, and the small percentage of Lazio fans thought that as you guys are nuts. Like honestly, I'm scared, and I hate to say this. I'm scared for the Crotone game. As crazy I may sound, I feel like I know Crotone is not doing great. They're named Croutons for a reason. I get it, but I feel like with the recent form and the confusion that we're having with every bit of our squad, I'm nervous. I'm gonna treat this game as like a big game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Plus
And
Crotones, they're not dead in the water anymore because
yeah,
before they beat Torino, it just looked no chance. And
yeah,
then now all those teams at the bottom are all playing well. I mean, it's
yeah,
just a win, but the problem that they had is can't score, and they scored 4 on Torino. So I
yeah,
feel like
exactly.
I think they're going down, but I think they have to feel like we have at least a chance to survive here. And
Hmm.
you know, they did beat Lazio that one year, last day of the season. So
Yeah,
they should,
2017. Yeah.
they're going to go into that game with great confidence. With Lazio, I think they're not going to. They want to get
Hmm.
back on form, and
Yep.
they haven't. They haven't played well. And Immobile, I haven't seen him for 3 weeks. So
Yeah, he's been gone.
he's been gone.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the whole argument. Okay, against Bayern, that's tough. But he wasn't a part of the Leroy Sané sequence where Lazio players just lost their wherever they were. So I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's just like a game like that can be difficult. Again, I think they should probably win it because they're better, and Crotone doesn't
Hmm.
have that many great players. But at the same time, Crotone have to feel confident going into that, especially considering how you guys are playing.
Hmm. Yeah. Nope. For sure. And again, I mean, Francesco, you can see all day that you guys were happy with the 3 points, you were confident and stuff like that. You wouldn't take anything negatively from the match, right?
The only
Anything
thing
for
I
you to
would take,
change,
the only thing negatively I would take from the match is the fact Ronaldo coming in.
right? So it's back to the Ronaldo. Okay.
I just don't think it was necessary. I think it was just like his ego saying, "No, I'm gonna play," and it just kind of shows you what you were saying, Fernando. Pirlo can't like put his foot down. I feel
Yeah.
like he had no business playing that game. We were comfortably beating Lazio. There was no need for him to go in.
I agree.
Yeah.
I just
Yep.
think if he didn't go in, nothing would have changed, and if he got in, nothing would have changed.
Yeah. For sure. No. No. 100% there. Again, you Juve against Lazio. You can see the kind of back and forth. Obviously, Juventus getting the upper hand the last couple results and stuff like that, and you guys are right, Ronaldo. He should have sat out, but knowing Ronaldo, I mean, try telling him that. Like, he'll feel like, okay, see you later, man.
Yeah, you just can't.
Moving, yeah. Moving on to Roma Genoa. Now, this was a tight one.
Yeah.
This was like it like looked like it was and Genoa. Like we had Genoa on last week, and we
Yeah.
talked about their scrappiness. We talked about their attitude. Um, I was hoping, like I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate it. I'm in the middle. I wanted a draw. I wanted a draw.
That's fine.
I wanted a draw just because I'm from the inside of me. I'm cheering for Genoa. I don't know what it is about Genoa. I just like their spirit, their
I
diehard
do too, to be
attitude.
honest.
I just something about them. It just makes me want to like, oh, Genoa. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so and again, it was Mancini that scored, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, okay. I didn't watch too much of that game. I know it was kind of back and forth. Anything that you want to take away from that game there, Elliot? There.
We got the win. We got a scrappy victory, and Chris Smalling gets back great defensive performance. A lot of Roma fans are really happy. I hated the performance. I thought it was horrible because the thing that would made Roma successful, the reason they're in the top three, the reason they're pushing Champions League is because their ability to get on the counterattack. I'm not satisfied with one set piece winning Roma the game. And if it wasn't for defensive performance, it could have been a draw. Because you take Jordan out of that situation, which I was heartbroken when he had to because people don't realize is Roma are a great attacking team. He's the glue because all of the counterattacks that Roma go on start with him pushing the ball up the field, and because of him being out, you have to put Pellegrini in defensive position, and he can play there, but he doesn't find the spacing. He doesn't push up in the same way that Jordan does. So without Jordan, you have to figure out a different solution, and we don't have a player that does his sort of routinely the things that he does on the counter. And Roma didn't get on a counterattack even once. And you have El Shaarawy and you have Mkhitaryan. I mean, he came off in the second half or whatever. But you have good players in there that can contribute in the counterattack. But you take away the person who kind of puts
orchestrates it.
And I think, and I might be alone here, I think he's their best player this season. So I think he's your best player, number one. Number two, you lose the player that's putting the counterattacks together. He does have a bunch of penalties, but he has 10 goals this season. So I just hated the fact that they couldn't even get on the counterattack once, and scares me going into a game against Shakhtar, a team that counterattack living. Yeah. And again, Shakhtar played very open, so Roma can exploit that. But if you're playing against Shakhtar, you have to respond with your own attack against them. And I thought they didn't use the wingbacks enough to try to break down Genoa. Because if you're not going to get on the counter, that's how to do it, especially given Rick has, I think, the most assists at the defender position in the league, and Spinazzola is always a weapon on that side. And it was just too passive. There wasn't enough chances, no creativity, and it was just, again, I'm happy to get the points because sometimes you have to win ugly, and Chris Smalling was unbelievable. Him and Mancini, I thought, played really well together. But again, I'm not totally comfortable with the fact that Roma, won just because of a set piece. And Jordan's out a month. We'll probably get past Parma because Parma just doesn't. They're playing better lately, but it's just not a team I'm worried about. But the Napoli game at the end of the month, where Roma are, if they're going to have a chance in that, I think Napoli are crap. But at the same time, we don't play well in big games, so we need to be able to attack them. And without Jordan, I don't know how they do that. So I'm actually not feeling great about where my team is right now. Again, I think they're getting the points and it's good, but it scared me the fact that they didn't get on the counterattack not one time. And that's terrifying, especially like I said, going against a Shakhtar team and preparing for a team against Napoli. We can play like this against Parma and probably still get some sort of result. And again, I think it just comes down to them getting to the attack, because once they get on the attack, then Moriel opens up, and then you have obviously the wingbacks and the other contributing parts of the midfield that also can obviously go forward with that. But it all starts with the attack, and I don't know if we have someone who can take the ball up the way Jordan does. So I'm happy we have the points, but I'm a little worried about the next couple of games. I think we'll get enough points to get to the Napoli game, but we need to find out a plan B, how to play if we can't get on the attack by the time we play Napoli. So good points. Tough game, but I'm just not. I wasn't entirely happy, other than Chris Smalling looking like Smaldini out there.
Yeah, well, because we've been seeing Smalling, and there's been moments where it's like, hey, what's going on with Smalling? You know what I mean? There's been kind of a little hiccups this season opposed to last season, right? So it's good to see that he's regaining his form. And I understand where you're coming from in the sense that they should have done more. They should have scored more goals. Like with the Lazio and Sampdoria, like, hey, we won, but like they're cheering like it's like, ooh, ha, ha, we won. It's like, no. You should be cheering as you see.
It's not that just we should have scored more. I wanted to see Roma get on the counterattack more, just one time.
Yes.
Because they didn't do it at all, which means Jordan's a lot more valuable than some of these Roma fans on Twitter are making it sound.
Yeah, which it blows my mind when you said to me that like the one half of the Roma fan base, they just like go like berserk over Jordan, and they like give him so much shit and stuff like that. It's like, why? That guy is. I think he's like one of the perfect midfielders. Like he does pretty much anything and
Yes,
everything.
yeah.
You know
He
what I mean?
plays.
Like
He gets into. I don't. Depends on probably on Inter, but most of the top six he would get into their team in some capacity.
100%.
And I think
yeah,
there's a
for
lot of
sure.
Roma fans who think that's not the case. So I'm on the I think Jordan's the best player. I think yeah, even at full strength, even if everyone's in form, Jordan's still the best player. I mean, I'm not counting Zaniolo because when he gets back, if he performs the way he was before, then he probably is. But given Roma's current team, he's their best player. So a lot of people don't realize it, and then a lot of fans think he's great, and then the other side of the fans think, we could do better. And I'm hearing all these rumors. We should sign this player and this player so we can put him in where Jordan's like, dude. If we didn't have Jordan may not be the most valuable player in the league, but we're not in the Champions League places without him.
He works.
So I don't know. It just confuses me sometimes because I think he's a really outstanding player, and I think he doesn't get the respect within the Roma. Again, there are a lot of Roma idiots on Twitter, but you get what I'm saying. It's just like
we all have the small groups. Juventus, Roma, we always have that small percentage of. It's like they kind of make it bad for everybody. Hey, listen to. How about you guys get Lev and we get Jordan? How about that? We'll give you Lucas. We'll get Jordan. You think that's a trade? No trade backs. Okay,
you can have Jordan if you give me Alberto and a Savage.
No, off limits. Hey, we got to deal with Liverpool over the offseason with Savage. I know they're after him, so no way. I'd rather get him shipped off somewhere else, but no way to Roma.
China.
Yeah, right. Yeah, China. Yeah.
That's extra money.
Yeah, well,
they pay double the value.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
I think you go to a big European club.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think it's. This might be the summer he might go because I mean obviously Lazio hitting Europe, dying chance of Europa League, let alone Champions League.
You eventually have to cash in on him because there's going to be a point with what I like to call Andrea Bellatti's stringent. If they had sold him 3 years ago, they would have got like 80 million. And once they set that price tag at whatever it was, 100 million, and then he's continued to be good, but his price has deflated downwards.
Oh yeah,
it is.
I think eventually you're gonna have to cash in, and the fear I have and the hope is that they wait too late and they don't get as much as you probably could have. Because if you sold them the year after, not last year, but the other year, Immobile.
And United wanted them huge.
Yeah, the year that Immobile had 42 goals or whatever, that year he was outstanding. If you sold him then, you would have got like 3 digits. Now you probably get like a good amount, but I feel like if you wait too long and he has a bad season, then his price is going to drop.
Drop.
And he's not getting any younger, right?
Yeah, and you still have Alberto there, so it's a loss, but you'll have a lot of money to do it. And again, if you spend the way you did in the summer, it's not going to do any good.
Well, I don't want to to about.
Well, you get
nightmare sweats from that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so moving on to Crotone and Torino. Surprise! I really thought Torino was going to get this one, but Crotone smashed it through Torino 4-2. Fiorentina, Parmigiano with the scrappiest game. Man,
that was such an entertaining game.
Because
honestly,
they were. I think they led in their last 2 games, and then the previous they were up 2-0, and in this game they were up twice. And then the only reason they lose is because, and I don't even blame on the defender, is the own goal that happened. That was just due to circumstances. And even though I've been ripping them for not playing my man over there, but it's at the same time. So again, if they get relegated, I gave them the solution. But so it's on them. But still, I felt so bad because they were this close to winning. And the whole thing was Parma can't score any goals. That was their situation.
Now they can't defend.
And now they can score, but can't defend. I saw a comment on the Serie A YouTube channel where the guy said their attack is like a Lamborghini and their defense is like a go-kart. Which just killed me.
That's good.
I felt so bad for them because they were this close to getting points. And if they had won all 3 of those games, they wouldn't be in the relegation zone anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, 100%. I mean, even with the additions they made over the transfer window, I feel like obviously they're not using them, they're not utilizing them. I mean, obviously buying Pele back, whatever. I don't know what the big thing was there. I mean, the guy's old as hell, retired model slash soccer player, and again, not playing, Romanian man there. It's just,
They ha-
I don't
they
know.
they signed him, then they signed Dennis Mann, who when he signed had more goals than the entire Parma team, and then
Yeah, no, exactly.
Then they signed Zerke from Bayern Munich, and my thought
Yeah.
is like perfect solution. You play
Yeah.
Mann and Zerke together. Mann is more of a
Yeah.
winger, but he can play up there, and then that's how you get out of relegation. And
Yeah.
they signed all three of them and aren't playing any of them. It just doesn't make sense. You spend
No.
15 million on one guy, you got another guy for free, and you have another one where it's an option to buy for like 17 million, and you're not playing
Yeah.
any of them. It just doesn't make sense to me. So if
Yeah,
they get
I don't feel
relegated,
bad for them.
no, I don't either, because it's their own
No.
fault. They bought their solutions and they're not using them. So if they go down, it's on them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I agree 100%. Verona, Milan. I mean, Milan getting into the winning ways, beating Verona. I again thought this was going to be a scrappy more game. I
Yeah.
thought this was going to be a draw. We know how
Same here.
Verona are. They give the tougher, bigger teams a big time, like a tough time. We can see that with Juventus. Sampdoria Cagliari 2-2, another scrappy game. Napoli blowing past bologna sandwiches over here, Mr. Saputo's team 3-1, and Inter just getting past that Atalanta team 1-0. That was a really important game for them. Obviously, that extends their title winning road there. It's funny.
Yeah.
Gasparini made that quote. He's like, "This is Inter's year." Like, he was a good kind of sport about that.
It sort of feels like does.
Excuses. Yeah, and I'm surprised he didn't throw any excuses. Knowing him, like, he's always making an excuse about something.
Yeah.
He actually just he's like, this is their year, and it's good for that. So pretty good, not bad game for weekend action for City Up. But let's kind of get down to the main kind of event here. Let's talk about Juve Porto. And I can see the steam coming out of Francesco's ears through the headphones right now. I can see it from here, okay? And I can just now. I don't know how to start. Francesco, if you want to kind of start off and talk about your confidence coming into the game. Did you agree with the lineup? What do you would have changed? Kind of walk me through the whole kind
I
of.
know one thing he wanted to
change. Yeah. Go ahead, buddy.
So basically, just want to give the fans. We're recording this on the Tuesday night, right after the game. So this is fresh. Going into the game, I think I texted everyone saying, if Szczesny plays, we are finished. And I said Buffon needs to play this game. And all my friends were like, oh, why does Buffon need to play? Szczesny's your number one. And I said, because after that game, it's unacceptable. He needs to sit on the bench. And then everyone's telling me, he's like, oh, but everyone makes mistakes. I said, I don't care the mistakes he made. I care how he handled the mistakes. I cared about his attitude after he made the mistakes. And you could see when I talk about it later on, like, nothing's changed. Going into the game, I was confident we were going to win. I said, okay, get a goal. Just make a 1-1 in the first half. 1-1 like on just make a 1-0 in the first half and then just keep rolling from there. Then, I thought we were playing pretty good with opening up. Porto were attacking us. We were attacking them. Morata could have scored an open header, but just unlucky for him not to aim the ball to the left or right. Then all hell breaks loose with another Dutch referee. Di Maral, perfectly good challenge, and it's been called a penalty. It's funny because the Porto player fell, got up, yelled at the ref, and then the ref decided to blow the whistle and said, okay, this is a penalty. There was no VAR check, which is, a little strange since we have the technology. Then they scored the penalty, and all from there I was just praying. I said, okay, just take it to extra time because we have the quality to beat these guys, whether it's extra time or penalties. Just score 1-1 first half. That didn't happen. So I'm like, okay. Then the second half, I wasn't confident in the team. I said, okay, I don't know what's happening here because we're dominating them, but they're not stupid. They're parking the bus. They know how to defend us well. Then the red card came, the magical red card, where that was a stupid red card on Porto's part. And it was kind of a lifeline for us. And I was actually on the phone with Enzo, and he was saying, oh yeah, now Juve's gonna win. Juve's gonna win. I was telling him, shut up. The game's not over yet. Shut up. Yeah, I was just so nervous. I was so nervous. Like, shut up. You're jinxing it. Shut up. And then when Chiesa scored, it's funny if anyone watches a game with me. When Chiesa is scoring or anyone scores an equalizer goal, I don't celebrate. When Chiesa is celebrating, I'm yelling at my TV. I said, "What are you doing? Pick up the ball, you idiot! We're not winning. This isn't Fiorentina. That score doesn't mean anything. You gotta look at the aggregate." I was losing it, and then Chiesa scores another one, and he's celebrating with Bensolio before, and everyone's hugging him like he won the Champions League final for us. Like, do these people not realize we're not winning the fucking game, right? Like, I was flipping out, and then this is where all hell broke loose. This is where all hell broke loose. It goes into extra time, and I'm like, okay, I could breathe. Extra time, we're dominating them. Enzo sent me a stat after the game. Apparently, Juve broke a record. We had 60 attempted crosses in the Champions League game. It was just incredible to see that how much we dominated them, and we couldn't. The keeper, it was like the Sola Casillas in net. The saves he was making. Pepe looked like he was in his prime.
Oh my god, amazing! Oh,
Crazy.
But at the same time, everyone's saying, "Oh, Pepe's a beast." The guy faked 5 head injuries. Usually, you're off to a hospital if you have 5 head injuries in a soccer match. This isn't football here. Then Marega, that guy, he pissed me off so much this game. The guy kept fouling every player. I counted. He got like 7 or 8 warnings. Usually, like there's like 3 warnings, yellow card, 8 warnings, no card. And then the coach was like, "Okay, listen, Marega, you're getting too thin. You get subbed off here." Then the free kick. I want to address this because a lot of Juve fans are divided on here. Everyone's blaming the wall. Like I said on Twitter, Szczesny's a king. You can't touch the guy. He's invincible. He's the best keeper to ever come to Juve, best keeper alive. I don't know what's with this guy. Usually when you dive to the left, you use your left hand. I think it's like basic. Like you dive to the left, it's a reaction to use your left hand. If you're gonna use one hand, Szczesny like made a move or something. The guy's diving the bottom left, used his right hand. The wall was atrocious. I don't know why Cuadrado wasn't.
I found that so confusing.
The wall was a mess. Szczesny was even worse. The fact that he let that go in, and once again, two incidents. Right before the penalty, he was laughing with Ronaldo. I don't think I'd be laughing right before a penalty that could eliminate us from the Champions League. Right before you have to save the penalty, I'd be laughing with my teammate. Second of all, right after that goal, he gets up and he's like, "Oh, okay, it happens." Even though he knew. Then Rabiot scored right after, and then everyone's celebrating again, like, "Oh, let's go, let's go." And that was the one goal when Rabiot scored where I didn't see a celebration. I said, "Okay, guys, we need another one." I think that's when it finally clicked to say, "Oh, guys, we're not winning the game." And I think that's where the rule gets a little shaky, because we had 90 minutes to score an away goal against Porto, but they had 120 minutes to score an away goal. So I don't know. For me, I think the away rule. I love the away goal rule. I just think after extra time, I think the away goal rule needs to be diminished.
Yeah, but, I agree with you 100%.
It's unfortunate that they went away on away goals. Another thing, Porto, that extra sub rule needs to go. I mean, you're giving teams 5 subs. That's more than enough. I don't know why you need an extra six subs to come on in extra time, especially if the team hasn't used it. So that got me a little mad. But Bonucci was probably Cuadrado, and Chiesa. Those were the only 3 players on that pitch that actually wanted to win and actually fought for the team.
Fought for the team, yeah.
Everyone else, you could tell they weren't prepared. They weren't ready to fight. Morata and Ronaldo. Morata had his chances. He just couldn't finish. Ronaldo was a ghost. He disappeared. Don't know where he was. I
can't wait.
Szczesny, if I see him, if I see him just watching from the stands at a Juve game, I'm gonna be annoyed that he's there. I think his chapter's over. If there's any point to put his foot down with Pirlo, I think the first needs to be at Szczesny, because he doesn't make that first mistake. He doesn't make his second mistake in the first game. He doesn't make this mistake, we go through. If you go with all these ifs, if that Ronaldo penalty would have been given, we go through. That Di Maria challenge, which I think wasn't a penalty, wasn't given or checked VAR at least, we go through. The goalkeeper, this is one thing I was baffled right after the game. I was on Twitter just looking at to see if people had similar things. Right after Chiesa scored, Morata kind of kicked the ball in the net. He was running to go celebrate with Chiesa. The goalie was on the ground. You could see he kicked Morata, and Morata fell. And I'm just baffled that no one caught on to that. Morata, I'm surprised he didn't complain about it. For me, that should have been a red card. That would have been 9-men Porto. We would have won, especially since their backup goalie would have had to come in. And 9-men Porto, I think. There's a lot of ifs that could have went our way, but we're out of the Champions League now. Porto will be out in the quarterfinals, and we just got to focus on the double. And hopefully, I was talking to Fernando about this earlier, but I think Pirlo as much as I think it was the wrong move for Pirlo to come, I would have kept Sadi. I think Pirlo needs to stay.
Yeah.
You can't just sack him after a year. He needs some time to develop. Give him a transfer window for him to spend some money. Give him time to build the team he needs to build. You can't just say, okay, Pirlo, this is your first coaching job. I want you to win everything in a year. You kind of got to give him some time. You kind of got to give him some time to build his team and build his thing. Also, injuries were a thing. 90% of the team, Pirlo said in the conference, wasn't 100%. De Ligt wasn't 100%. Chiellini wasn't 100%. Bonucci wasn't 100%. That's all you heard from the press conference of Pirlo before the game. So injuries killed us. The mentality of a lot of players killed us. Chesney, he didn't kill us. The guy, if I need to ship him home to Poland myself, I will. The guy, I don't want to. I don't want to see him. If he came to TFC, I'd be happy. I'd go to the game myself, just to see the guy and just to see like if he has any remorse of the mistakes today, because the guy's disappeared. But we're out of Champions League now. Just like all the Inter fans are celebrating. It's funny they came fourth place in the group, so they could celebrate all they want. It just gives us more energy. It gives us more energy in Serie A now to catch up. And when we finally get to a point where Inter Juve, the second last day of the season, is a game where whoever wins the Scudetto, and Juve wins, and you see all those Inter fans cry, they're gonna wish that we beat Porto today. So I think that's where Juve's season's at. Pirlo's not stupid. He knows if he doesn't win the Scudetto, he's out the door. So I think now the team's gonna be pissed that they lost that game against Porto.
Heavy words. Oh my gosh. No, that's I don't know. I'm lost of words. I honestly thought again, Ronaldo's gonna work his magic and kind of pull off the Atletico Madrid kind of magic, but obviously we didn't see that. Elliot, you predicted the score, right? What was the score again? You predicted the 3-2 or.
So what happened was after not the first leg I said Porto would win. I didn't know what the score would be, but I thought they would win. And then I did a podcast with a friend of mine who we talked about the Champions League games, and we were talking about what was going to happen in the second leg. I said that because I didn't think there's a scenario where Porto was going to go to Juventus and beat them, but my theory was they were going to get enough away goals where it didn't matter. So I actually thought Porto would win this 3-2. I thought so when I was talking to some Juve fans today, I was saying that Juve should win the game, but I still kind of felt that my pick there, I just felt like this Porto team, like it's not like Juve played really well against some of the bigger teams, but Ajax and Lyon, Porto, it just kind of like aligned with one another. Yeah. And it's like, this is my issue. Like there's actually a lot of things I need to say right now, but a lot of Juventus fans, not you, but the delusional ones, some of them on IFTV, little shot there. But
yes, finally, yes.
The amount of optimism, like they looked. Obviously, Porto did score in the first minute of the first leg and of the first game, and then in the second half. So it wasn't like Porto was amazing necessarily, but the way they were speaking about this second leg as if Porto are like horrible, like they're.
Oh yeah, for sure. I knew it was going to be a challenge. I just thought Pirlo would find
you're different. You, for the most part, I agree with what you say. Not counting that last bit about
Yeah, the
But
last part is like a blur. What happened?
pretty much everything else I align with what you said on this podcast and what I've heard you say on other platforms as well. So, but I just thought that optimism, and you should be optimistic. We can do this. We have Ronaldo, et cetera, et cetera. But the audacity that people were predicting 3-0, 4-1 victory for
Oh,
Juventus.
never. I predicted
No
2-0. I predicted, like, this is going to be 2-0. We're going to
Yeah,
score
exactly.
early on.
So the thing is with me is I looked at the situation. I'm like, come on, this is just unrealistic. And I think it's that mentality that is why Juve lose these type of games. Is we're better than them. We can sleepwalk through this game and still come up top. So that's the first takeaway. So I had predicted this. Just give me a couple of minutes here. I have a lot of things to unpack. So that's sort of that's why I looked at that, and I thought I've never bought this idea that Pilro was going to come in there and make Juventus into this great thing. Look, if you're trying to win 3 years from now, I'm fine with the move. If you want to win now, this is just not right. You either stick with Sarri or go for somebody else. And even more so, like, and this is the hot take you and I talked about before. If this Juventus wins with Pirlo, it's going to make all of us look bad because it's going to make it look like some dude can just roll up and win the Scudetto. Yeah. And look, I've been consistent with this. I think Serie A is by far. I think it's a toss up for me between Serie A and the Bundesliga. It's by far better than the Premier League, La Liga, the French League, anything else. Not even close. There's a conversation between Germany and Italy. I think it's close. I would say at this point Germany probably has a slight edge, but this is because of the groundwork we have put in over the last 3-4 years, and Juventus have been winning it. But it's not like they just showed up and got the trophy after the first game of the season. Where in the past it was like there's a stigma, it's just a defensive league, we don't score a lot of goals, and now you see like 5-4 games.
Yeah.
So if this Juventus comes with Pirlo, wins the whole league, it's gonna make the whole league like lose some reputation in terms of that. Obviously, I'll still watch it. I still love this league, but at the same time, the perception is going to get worse if he wins this league. Secondly, like there's a lot of things you can say about this game in particular, but obviously Chiesa was. There's maybe a few players. Corrado did well, but Chiesa was like he was the one player that I said, okay, like that's one you keep. But then I thought about this even further. This is not the Juve he signed up for. He thought he was going to go to this Juve that's kind of run Italian football, and he's coming to this Juve that needs to perform at that high level the way they performed in the Coppa Italia against Inter and the way they performed against Barcelona. This is the way Juve used to perform all the time, and now he's coming in there in a situation where they're not performing like that always. Secondly, Ronaldo, and this is a weird thing. If you criticize Ronaldo, you're by extension a Ronaldo hater and stuff like that. So I've been on the internet. Been called this. Like I said first, I don't care. I just speak what I say. And this is the thing with Ronaldo that I think a lot of people don't understand. And maybe you're a big fan of him and you don't want to see the light. And I recognize that even guys like Lionel Messi is deteriorating slightly. But the thing with Ronaldo is, obviously this was a horrible performance, but people still view him as he is one of the best players in the world. And if you're saying best in terms of like top 10, top 15, I'll meet you there. But there's some people that still believe he's in that top part. And I think he's great. But I think this Ronaldo is great in a different way than Real Madrid Ronaldo. If Real Madrid Ronaldo plays this game, it's over already. They would have been swept aside the first leg. And if you think about the greatest moments that Ronaldo has had at Juventus in the Champions League, it was that one game against Atletico Madrid. And that's basically it. I'll say this. Ronaldo, his first season at Juventus was still, in my opinion, in his prime, still a world-class player. And then even though he scored more goals the next 2 seasons, I've seen a little deterioration, not because he's not great. For what he's doing at his age, he's incredible. But I think the way he's being viewed, and it's kind of the arrogance too, that this is why I'm the greatest of all time, and the fact that he has to continuously tell us that he's the greatest of all time. If you're the greatest, then you shouldn't have to continue to tell me that how great you are. So the thing with Ronaldo though is he has great moments. So you can look at this season. You look at the Roma game. Why did they lose that game? Because Ronaldo became world class for whatever it was, 10, 12 minutes. They win the game. You look at some other games in the I don't know off the top of my head, but there have been games where he's had those world class moments, not games but moments. So you have sequences where you say that's Ronaldo. He just turned back the clock. And then you see, and I'm not saying he doesn't have world-class games, but he has had world-class games, but it's never against the opponents you'd like him to show that.
Yeah.
So if you're talking start from finish, world-class game. The match against Cagliari, probably the best Ronaldo game in Juve's shirt. He played great against Parma. He played great against some of these other Crotone. But these are not the teams that need. So when Ronaldo puts together a 90-minute full of great play, it's never against the big teams. He played pretty well against Barcelona, so I'll give him that. And I'm not, by any extension, a guy who doesn't like Ronaldo. Real Madrid Ronaldo was one of my favorite players ever, and he was an animal. And like I said in the chat, Syriac chat, he was an animal at Juventus. He's like a venomous snake that only basically poisons people once in a while. It's not like he continues to fight. So that's one point. So Ronaldo, again, I want to kill this. I'm just speaking of what I see. I evaluate. You can disagree with me. That's totally fine. I think he's hanging on to the world-class tag like a piece of paper off a cliff. Like, he's still unbelievably great. For his age, he's incredible. But when you talk about, and even though Leo Messi is deteriorating, and you got guys like Neymar, you got guys like Robert Lewandowski, and even like the new boys like Erling Haaland and others, they're just a different level right now. And I appreciate what Ronaldo has done, and he's still operating at an incredible level considering his age. But so that's one side of it. The second side of it is, this isn't what Ronaldo signed up for. He came here to win the Champions League for Juventus. Yeah. He left Real Madrid. Real Madrid may not have been great in that period of time, but you still had a lot of those established players with Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. And maybe if he stays there, Real Madrid gets somebody else. Ronaldo leaves Real Madrid, and all these players that may have been interested lose some interest because I can now not play Ronaldo. And I don't know what his future is going to hold, but I'm not sure that there won't be a decision made on this. And you can say it's hard to say what would have happened, but if you look at the Juventuses before he got there, they were more there's something more to be feared there. With this, it's like it's Ronaldo and 11 other individuals. It's not a team situation. And I don't blame Ronaldo for being obviously one of the greatest goal scorers ever. He's one of the top three to top five players ever. And there's so many great things that he does. So I don't want to diminish and try to take things away from him in terms of what he's been able to do at this age. But if you just kind of think about what he was trying to do by making this move, he was trying to win the Champions League. And he just number one, it's not always his fault because he wasn't surrounded with a team that can actually do it. So in a certain way, it's like, should he have made this move based on the fact of the team he was going to? And secondly, you have, all due respect to Pirlo, one of my favorite players ever, but when he's playing people out of position and he's not surrounding Ronaldo in that way, that's also kind of comes across as not helping him. So this isn't what he signed up for, and he made this move. He's been great, but he's also each season in the big games he's gone backwards a little bit. But I just think overall of this game, it's just like, obviously you can say what you want about the first penalty. That's just a stupid thing to do anyways. So even if that penalty isn't called, I don't remember who it was. Di Maria doesn't need to do that. And obviously you can look across this game, and they were unlucky not to get more. And then obviously, as you said, the goalkeeping situation was horrible. And then the wall, I don't know what they were doing. It was like they never done it before. That's how it looked. Yeah. And this Juventus team,
like a Trump's wall.
Yeah. And the last thing I say, this Juventus team has talent in here, and you have to recognize, like, I'll say what I want about Pirlo. I don't rate him as a manager. I just kind of look at him as like a glorified fan that makes substitutions. But at the same time, he did get McKinney to Juventus, and I think that's something that he banged on the table for that one. I like some of his football, but some of the formations that he has tried. But he's also let the team down in another situation. If Sarri is coaching this team, they probably get through. But I don't want to put too much blame in what area, but it's just overall, this is embarrassment because Juve went to this team that makes Champions League finals over decades to now it's like they're becoming what PSG used to be before they made the final. They become a bunch of chokers. And the ironic thing about this whole thing, and this is the last thing I'll say before I close it out here, but Juventus fans, not everybody, but the toxic ones, make fun of Barcelona for choking away leads and losing to teams like Roma and, getting mollywopped by Bayern Munich and choking against Liverpool. Yet they are in a similar situation in terms of they have come up short against 3 teams they should have beaten easily. The Ajax team was phenomenal, but at the same time, you have Ronaldo, and in those games, you signed them. You didn't sign him to win the Golden Boot. You signed him to deliver.
To win the Champions League. Yeah.
And I'm not blaming Ronaldo, so I don't want this to sound like I'm just being a hater. But based on everything that I've kind of laid out here, this is inevitable. It's something that I've seen. That's why I picked Porto. I didn't pick Porto because I have any issue with Juventus. I have love for a few clubs that aren't my own, not my clubs, but I love Benfica. That's one of my favorite teams in Portugal. I don't like Porto at all. I fucking hate Porto. And obviously how we lost to them in the Champions League, I don't like them. So I didn't say this because, I'm cheering for Juventus to get knocked out. But considering everything that led up to this, considering the changes that they made, it's just like they're in a bad situation right now. And I say, and this is the last thing I'll say, you keep Chiesa, you keep Kuleveski, you keep McKinney, you keep DeLit, you keep the big pieces, and then you just blow up the whole thing and you can still attract great players because of Juventus, but something needs to change here because this has just been a disaster. And Porto is a good team, but this should not have been this difficult. And even when they took the lead, I just felt Porto's still going to come back in this because Juventus are going to let them do it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I just had to go off.
No, that was great, and great points on the other side and stuff like that. Porto should have been this difficult. You're right, Francesco. You're right about the ref. I don't know. They got him out of a cereal box. Like, this ref was brutal. Like, he was just the wall was bad. Chesney needs to be sold.
I give him away for free if I needed to. I don't care.
Yeah,
Just get him
hey
gone.
man, like I would. The guy's disgusting because he's not the smirks, the smiles, the laughs, the jokes. It's like, come on, man. Even if you're gonna making a joke to Ronaldo saying, "Oh, I'm gonna stop this," even so, you shouldn't be joking or smiling. You should be serious
especially since you're already down on the aggregate score. It's not like it's 5-0 up aggregate. They have a penalty. It's not like
exactly.
And he has an ego of a player that is way better than him. It's like he's Neuer, he can bark all he wants. If he's Oblak, he can bark all he wants. Even if he's Allison, he can bark all he wants. If you're not a top tier goalkeeper, and I'm saying he's not. He's definitely not. But especially if you're not in the top tier, the people I just named are the best in the world. Then shut up. You don't have the right to speak. Ronaldo can bark because his career has been a record book, a book of amazing things that have happened. Even DeLit can bark a little bit because DeLit was sold for 72 fucking million. I mean, and
he's good.
He took Ajax to a Champions League semifinal, and he was captain at 20 years old. But if you're Chesney, you need to do your job and shut up. And number one, he's not doing his job, and number two, he's talking as if he's someone greater than he actually is. And he was good at Roma at least to a certain extent, but I mean, I just don't like the way he speaks. He speaks as if he's, this amazing goalkeeper.
I will say, when Roma had Chesney on loan, it always baffled me why Roma never purchased Chesney, because they had the option and then he came to Juve. Yeah. I always thought Denzel, I don't know why Roma didn't just purchase Chesney, and then it worked out because Alisson obviously exploded with Roma. Now, watching him at Juve, I understand why Roma didn't buy him.
Yeah.
His attitude is, it's not like he doesn't do the job. It's right after he makes a mistake, he brags that he made that mistake, like it's something to brag about.
Mm-hmm. Or he'll blame his defenders or whatever. He'll blame other people and stuff like that, as we see in the first leg, whipping the ball to Belancourt. Yeah, it's okay, Belancourt, he's not the best and he makes mistakes, whatever. But what are you doing whipping the ball? You know what I mean? It's a team. It's called the team for a reason. It's team effort. You guys go down together, right? But for him, it's like, if it's a sinking ship and he's like, do I save myself or save my team? Oh, I'm going to the lifeboat. It's like that Italian captain there, when he crashed the ship down near the south border of Italy in the rocks.
Yeah.
His excuse was, oh no, I fell and I landed on a lifeboat. And the guy on the other end, he's like, no, you're the captain. You have to go down to your ship. So I feel like Chesney, if he ever got the armband, which he should never be touched near the armband at all. If it touches him, I hope it just melts his arm off.
He yells at people with more credentials than he does. Rome, he was good at Roma, no doubt. But I think that was partly because of the goalkeeping coach we had at the time. But he also would yell at people like Manolas, who hasn't been great with Napoli, and Florenzi, but at least they had been there for multiple years. And even if you're Allison or you're Oblak, you can't be yelling at defenders that have, or people who've been in that team way longer than you have. And again, he did enough. But I also was, I didn't want Roma to buy him. I thought Allison was the special one to a certain extent, and he turned out to be. We only got to really see him in full action for one season, and that's one of the best goalkeeping performances we've seen in Serie A, at least in the last decade. I mean, so it's just, I just think his ego is the problem, and I don't care if Buffon is 42 years old.
He's better than Szczęsny.
Like, if you look at the Barcelona game, Juventus were very good in that game, but at the same time, Barcelona wasn't bad either. Messi played really well in that game, and the reason that Barcelona couldn't score was because of Buffon. All of the shots had come from Messi, and he saved every last one of them. That's almost to the point where, like, if you're Buffon, it's like, okay, I'm done playing now, because I never thought he would play better than he played that night. And you look at that situation, you have to remember that was in the Champions League against, crappy Barcelona, but with who I consider the greatest player ever. So you look at all of these situations with that, sort of the way you look at that, it's just like, it's just as dumb. He made a huge mistake. If you make a mistake like that and you have Buffon just sitting there, usually, like, you don't have that options. Like, for me as a Roma fan, my options is Paul Lopez and Morante. I don't like either one. So if you're in a Champions League game like that and you have Buffon just sitting there, why not play him? He's probably not playing more than another year. This was an opportunity for him to have one last hurrah moment to get Juventus to a quarterfinal that they probably would have lost. But still, just going out here is just it's just a bad look for the brand of Juventus. And a lot of the moves that they made in the last couple of years have been, it seems, almost like for advertising and PR, where they're not making intelligent decisions in terms of building the team. And I like some of the Juventus players, but I mean, it's just like dumb decisions like that is why they're not having the best season that they can have. And again, I do think they'll finish second, but it's still a bad season as far as from their standards, because they have incredible standards. It's not like Roma. Like, if we're third place in December, we celebrate. Where Juventus, it's like win or that's it. The expectation is to win at Juventus. So it's just like, I don't know. There's just so many things, and I could go on for a long time about that. It baffles me, some of the decisions that are being made over the long period of time. And again, you start Buffon in the game, even if Szczęsny is in good form, because you saw what he did in the first. Like, that should be enough to say goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. One last question before we wrap this up, and we'll have our all take on this. We won't have time to talk about the Atlanta Real Madrid game. We'll talk about that when the game is done. We'll talk about the next episode. But one final question I want to say: will Ronaldo leave Juventus this summer? What do you guys think? Seeing how he's been cracking up the Champions League. He wants to win a Champions League. There's been rumors about Ronaldo, Juventus, selling him, not selling him. They want to not spend the 30 million a year. Other people say that Juventus want to keep him. The rumors are false. But right now, as Ronaldo is being a player right now, a player that wants to win the Champions League and wants to be greatest of all time, as we all said and stuff like that. Do you think he's going to leave this season? Do you think he's going to take a crack back at Man U? Do you think he's going to, obviously he's not going to go back to Portugal or MLS or Qatar or whatever. What do you think is next for Ronaldo at this point? Do you think he's going to leave or no, guys? What do you think?
I think he's going to stay at Juve unless PSG prove that they're financially able to afford a front three of Neymar, Mbappe, Ronaldo. If they could prove to Ronaldo saying, listen, we'll give you 35 million a year. We could keep Mbappe and Neymar on the same team with the team we have in the back. Ronaldo, even if I was him, pack the bags, you'd get the hell out of there. I think because for him, he doesn't need to prove himself saying, oh, I didn't win a Champions League with Juve. The team wasn't good enough for me to win with them. But I went to Juve, I won a Scudetto, I don't care. I'll go to France, I'll win the Champions League with PSG. But if PSG can't afford him without selling one of those big players like Mbappe or Neymar, I think he's going to stay at Juve for at least another year, maybe two.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Elliot, what do you think? You think he's staying, going?
Um,
What's kind of your kind of
I think he should be sold, but he won't. Real quick on the PSG point, I think if he might do it just because the team is loaded enough. Um, but at the same time, even if they pull it off, I don't know if. And on paper, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But you look at Neymar and Mbappe. I mean, Ronaldo is an all-time great player, but he'll be damned if he's playing third fiddle at PSG because
Yeah.
that's
it's
what
gonna
he'll
be
be.
tough.
That's
Yeah.
what
It's
he'll
gonna be
be.
drama fest.
You can like I think at this point the best player in the world is open for debate as long as you say the right names.
Yeah.
I don't think Ronaldo belongs in that part, but Neymar is at least you can say depending on who you ask. I think when he's at his best, he's the best in the world. You can say Lewandowski, you can say Kimmich, you can say whatever. And I get it. Everyone hates him. You don't like the diving, but when he's at his best, he's brilliant. So the thing is, if Ronaldo goes to PSG with Neymar being at worst the third best player in the world, he's not going to be okay with that. And then Mbappe, I don't think he's in that top 3 to 5 yet, but he's not far out of it. And if he continues to play like this and shows up in a few more big games, Ronaldo will become like I don't know how to really explain this, but like Chris Bosh when the LeBron was with the Heat. That's what he'll become. So I don't know if I don't know if he'll be able to swallow his pride to do that. So I think he'll stay at Juventus. Real quick, how many years left does he have in his contract?
I think yeah, one extra year after this year, maybe two.
Okay.
So
But there were reports that he's re-signing this summer.
Okay, so if he doesn't sign a contract extension, he could leave for free, not next season, but the year after?
Yeah, around there.
Okay, so this is what happened. He'll either go to PSG or something. I don't think he leaves. And this may sound really strange, but if just because of the legacy points that he would get if he does this, I think it's possible. And I don't have any sourcing, unless you count Bro Trust Me as a source. But not this season. So he'll stay one more season. Ronaldo will look. I mean, he'll have moments, world-class moments, but there'll be less world-class moments than he has this season. As I explained the whole thing, I think it's possible he goes back to Portugal, tries to join Sporting, and say, you know what, all you guys who have me fourth and fifth, third in the all-time ranking, yeah, I'm Elliot talking to you. And say, watch this, and then wins with Porto, and of course they would be underdogs throughout. But if he could go back to Portugal and win the league title, get to a Champions League semifinal with Porto, again, I think basically his case, and just from my point of view, his case for him to move up into the number one spot, I think it's not possible, but he can move up on the list at least the way I view him. But something extraordinary will have to happen for him to kind of position himself where there's more of an argument with the top guys. And if he wins a Champions League with not Porto, Sporting, it does something different. It just hits different because they're not supposed to, Sporting is not supposed to win Champions Leagues. No. Just like Porto wasn't supposed to win when Mourinho had them. So even if he gets Porto to a semifinal and they take out, I don't know, Man City or PSG on the way, that's his best way to catapult himself.
Just say I'm still here.
Yeah. To a certain extent, I think he wants, because I'm sure he hears it. I would say, I've always said this for a long time, I think 67% of people think that Messi's the GOAT, and I think there's more people that think Maradona's the GOAT versus Ronaldo, and I think he cares about that more than some of the other all-time greats. So he wants to sort of put, and I think deep down he knows that some of these guys are better than him, but he wants to have the resume that's so incredible that people that 10, 20 years from now who didn't get to see them in their prime will have these arguments on his behalf because of his accomplishments, just like you've seen a lot in the other sports. So I think if he wants to gain the most legacy, obviously he's nothing left to prove. He's already one of the all-time greats. He's one of the greatest scorers ever. But if he wants to catapult himself to another level, going to a team like Sporting and taking them to somewhere they haven't been, I think does it. And again, Man United's always on the table. I think it'll be a stupid move on his behalf if he does that. But I think it's either he stays at Juventus, they sell him either to PSG or United. I think United still has a small chance, or a year from not next year, but the year after he goes to Porto for free. Because I just don't think. I think Juventus would be better off trying because if you rectify the situation now, then you can get back to winning 10 titles in a row. If you wait, then and let's say that Juventus is worse next season than they are this season, or they're not at that level that they need to be, then it kind of changes the conversation.
We're digging a hole.
But so I would rectify it, but again, I don't think they're going to sell him because number one, the fans will hate Juventus for it because a lot of Juventus fans, not you, but people out there are fanboys and they're only there because of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So it's going to upset some people, but ultimately, I think that's the best move. But do I think it's going to happen? No. That was a long-winded answer, but you get what I'm saying.
No. I like the sporting thing. I like that. I just know I can't picture it, unless they assemble like a Leicester City squad like 2016 in the sense of these like random players becoming so good. I can see that, but Ronaldo doing that all on his own, I just can't see that, especially with his age. I know no one likes the whole United idea. I'm gonna go against the grain. I said if he's going to leave, think about with the whole Juventus thing. It's been a couple seasons now in a row. Nothing with Champions League. We get that. He's fuming. He's pissed off. Obviously, he wants to create a legacy. Am I going to say he's going to win the Champions League with Man United? Maybe. I don't know. He has a greater chance going over there. He's got Bruno Fernandes to lick him up. He's got a good enough squad to kind of make some heat and trouble. I just feel like in his being a professional player at Juventus, I think he's frustrated. I can't picture Pirlo and him together next season or the season after that. I think there is turmoil there. Mm-hmm. I think that it's going to cause some big issues if both stay. Or I get it, like Pirlo, of him leaving is going to be slim. Chances of Ronaldo and him leaving are going to be slim. But if they both stay, and how worse they're going to get this season opposed to next season. Like if they get knocked out of Coppa Italia, that's it. They haven't won a cup. Them getting to the Scudetto race, whatever. I mean, it's there, but I don't think that them winning the Scudetto. I think Inter's kind of got it.
We need Inter to lose a couple of games, and that's never something good to rely on.
I just need Juventus not to win this year. They can start another 9 years. We just need a break in the tie because people are dragging the league through the mud because of Juventus winning. So we just need one break. So we get a little bit more respect, and then Juventus. Actually, I would prefer you not to win, but if I think I don't want Inter and Juventus, I always take Juventus over Inter. So,
Yeah. I just as a player, I mean, if Ronaldo goes this season without winning a cup, I don't know. I think his mind will start going to places, maybe Sporting in the next couple of years. But I think this summer it's going to be like, okay, I haven't won Dilly Squat this year. I don't care about the other years before. I need to win. I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want trophies. Where am I going to go?
And I think that's obviously this helps. But you know what I think is the reason he'll jump ship? When he finishes like 9th in the Ballon d'Or, and he'll just be so pissed.
Well, that's another thing too. Ballon d'Or. That's a trophy.
There's no way he finishes in the top 5. There's just no way.
Yeah, no, and I think losing out to Modric, and obviously, Lewandowski's gonna get it at some point. I don't care what anybody says.
I think it's between him and Kimmich.
Yeah.
Yes. Eventually he'll get it.
Yeah, I think that Lewandowski's a beast of a man. I don't care if he's 32, 33. I don't care. That guy's banging the goals. It's crazy. He's not human. So I think Ronaldo's seen that as well too. He's like, okay, I haven't won no trophies here this season. Obviously, I'm not doing Ballon d'Or. I'm not gonna admit to that. Whatever. Where am I going to go? What's my best chance to win a league? PSG, if PSG can afford me, okay, I'm going to call up Fergie. Hey, Fergie, what do you think? Obviously, Fergie's going to be like, yeah, do it. Like, my dying wish.
Liverpool.
Yeah, my dying wish is for you to win a cup at Man United or win the Champions League again. Okay, Fergie, no problem. And he flies over there. And
yeah, I think
he's got a chance.
The only thing about that is, and that's why I think the sporting thing, it's probably not going to happen, but why he can't gain any legacy points by going to Man United and doing something.
Yeah, he's already
if he wins with a team that's not supposed to win, it does more for his legacy, which is why I kind of look at the sporting angle as kind of out of left field, but I think United is more realistic. But if he goes to United and wins the Premier League, it doesn't enhance him in any way because
No. I'm saying more of a Champions League standpoint too.
Yeah, okay.
And with the sporting thing, that's great and all. I just feel like if we're talking about Ronaldo a couple years ago, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
The sporting, cool. But now he's 37, 38, 36, 37, 38. I don't think that he's going to be able to carry this team. He's not Tom Brady. I know different sports. I get it. But, like, he won't be able to carry this team to I
agree with that.
I know Sporting are doing well. I think they're first in the Prima right now. But
I think you're 11 points clear too.
Yeah, and I don't think that there's enough depth and enough players in that squad to work around him. And it's Ronaldo at the end of the day. I feel like they're not going to take it. They won't be mentally there with him. Seeing how he is getting old, I love the idea. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shoot the Sporting idea. I love it. That's a fairy tale ending. If that were to happen, and if he doesn't retire after that, he's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying that because of legacy points, not because winning the Champions League.
Yeah, no, for sure. Great points, and obviously, one way to find out the season is still upon us, and it's going to be very interesting to see.
Well, it's going to be very easy to find if there is turmoil, because a lot of people are forgetting. We have the media breathing down our necks with that stupid All or Nothing documentary coming out.
Oh my God!
Something we're going to see.
The wrong year to do that.
Something we're going to see is we're going to see how Pirlo Ronaldo's relationship is in the locker room. We're going to see. Me personally, I'm looking forward to seeing after that Porto game Szczesny's reaction in the locker room. I already know what it is, but just to see it on camera, maybe for the other Juve fans.
Yeah, I still don't. I don't know why you guys got another documentary. To be completely honest, you had the one on Netflix. And now
it just distracts the team.
Yeah, I think so. It's all media. It's all for sure. And Ronaldo loves it. I mean, you can argue with all that you want, but Ronaldo loves the camera.
Yeah.
He loves it. I don't care what anybody says. He loves the attention. He loves it. So
he's great, but he's arrogant.
For sure.
Those are too fast.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. So I mean, again, when's it coming out? Is it already out? Or?
I think it's May. It'll come out like after the season. So as of right now, they probably recorded a segment right after that defeat.
Oh, I thought it was done. I thought they were done.
It's gonna be like the Tottenham one, and I think Man City had one. It's just like behind the scenes of like the season.
Yeah.
That's a weird choice. I thought they'd get. I think Atletico Madrid makes more sense because they're about to win their first title. And
oh my God, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy.
I don't know.
I love it. Oh, I love it.
I'm excited to see it. No, don't get me wrong, but I'm just thinking from the producer's point of view. Yeah. Why they picked this Juventus, because this is the worst Juventus in a while.
Yeah. I think they had to take a risk of Pirlo's coming to Juve. Is this Juve's year to finally win the Champions League? And I think that's their whole big.
I think the thing is, I think they probably thought it's either going to be really good or really bad for Juve.
Yeah.
But either way, it's going to sell.
If it's really bad for Juve like it is now, it's going to sell so much better than it is if it was really good.
For sure. I'll be my top 5, so I'll think of as a comedy just with my popcorn, just laugh at them. Anyways, guys, this concludes our episode of the Calcioteers. Our next episode, we'll be talking about the Atlanta Real Madrid second leg. Really, really it could go either way in my opinion. So hopefully Atlanta can pull it out. Real Madrid are still strong though. I mean, it's Real Madrid. This isn't no dinky team like Juventus here. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, guys, thank you for everyone staying tuned. Check out our YouTube channel as well too. Comment, smash that like button and stuff like that. Guys, thank you so much for another segment, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys.
Ciao.
Ciao ragazzi. See ya.